Jesus is never talking to the ego. He's not asking the ego to forgive. Jesus is talking directly to spirit, directly to our mind, saying, this is how you do it. And of course, because we have a split mind, the ego jumps in and says, nope, I'm not going to do it that way. That way, what's the old saying? There lies dragons over in that direction. And the ego is always on the lookout for dragons, for sure.
Yeah. The ego, well, yeah, the ego cannot exist without judgment. So the minute we start to relinquish the judgment is also, well, the minute we relinquish judgment and get closer to spirit, we start to open the door for spirit or true self to come through. That's also the same instant the ego will start to get very irritated. It will bring up worldly things. It will bring up distractions that seem coincidental, but the ego is really at work, constantly trying to maintain itself against all odds. Really, it's trying to maintain itself, and it will do anything to perpetuate itself. And that's why I find it very helpful to recognize that and to realize that as I get closer, as I do my practice and I get closer to spirit, the resistance might increase. The attraction to worldly things or the distractions to worldly things. I might suddenly want to watch the news more or get sucked in or feel a sense of loss as I get closer to this. Okay, that's the ego's resistance grabbing a hold of me, but it is nothing more than another call to practice.
Right.
We're just letting one thing come up after another, and eventually we realize what the Course is telling us. That's the purpose of the world. The purpose of the world is to show us what we're not.
One big trigger.
It's one big trigger, yeah, with lots of seeming little parts.
Right. While we're on the subject of ego, what's the perspective of Patanjali on the ego, as well as the Course? Maybe a little bit of where do they meet? Where might they divert?
Yeah. Well, let's start with the Yoga Sutras. I love the first three sutras that I'll paraphrase a little bit. To me, the first three sutras, in a way, is all you really need. The practice of yoga, the practice that brings the peace, is described in the first three sutras, and then the rest all are various ways to back it up. So, sutra number 1, Hatha Yoga Anushasanam. Now is everything. Now we practice. And it's often, I've been in teacher trainings, and it's often the idea, okay, so now I roll out my mat. Oh, it's 11:30. Now it's time for me to practice. No, that may be part of it, but now the Course tells us now is the only time there is.
Right.
Now is where we heal. I can't heal in the future. I certainly cannot heal in the past. So it's that idea of nowness that I bring with me everywhere I go. And certainly we lose sight of it. We slip, we get caught up in time and space. Okay. It's usually a little pain or even a little temporary happiness that comes in. Oh, I want the steady peace and presence that only now offers. That's sutra number 1. And if you get that, you don't even have to go any further.
I want to thank you for that, because I have always read the very first sutra as an introduction. Now begins the practice of yoga, and that puts everything that follows, what you just said, into a brand new light. Now, this moment.
Yeah. Do a search in the yoga, do a search for the word now in A Course in Miracles, and you'll see how powerful that word is. Eckhart Tolle gave us the power of now. It's everything. Uh, so then the second sutra comes in and basically says yoga is the undoing of the obstacles, or we could say is the undoing of the modifications, the barriers to the healed mind. I love that second sutra because to me that's the definition of yoga. Now I know. Now I know what my yoga is. Whenever I get upset, whenever I feel angry, whenever I'm depressed, whenever I'm not experiencing the happy present state of now, I got yoga to do. And for most of us as bodies here in time and space, even the best of us, we slip and we get caught up in the body and we get caught up in form. Okay, don't deny that. Just come back to the gentle inner presence. How can I undo or forgive the part of my mind that has a judgment about this particular situation that seems to be taking my peace away? That's it. That's the formula. And then, so that's, to me, that's how Patanjali and the Yoga Sutras describe yoga. And then Sutra number 3 basically says, and then the natural awareness of true self abides. So if you practice gently now, if you recognize the restrictions or modifications, the alterations to that the ego has put on the healed self, the judgments, and I undo them, I ask spirit for help in undoing them. Now it's the most natural state that we can be in is true self. What takes less effort? Being in a place of true self, or the demands the ego puts on covering it up and hiding it?
So that's almost the introduction to A Course in Miracles, that we are removing the blocks to love's presence. The Yoga Sutras, Patanjali is saying we are removing the blocks within the mind to love's presence.
That's right.
It's a
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful way.